Hi, this is Sascha van Gelder and you're watching Inside Mbombela.
There's always radio, and for a time it's good for a laugh.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Inside Mbombela. I'm still your host, Leo Grant. On this week's episode, we've got one of Mpumalanga's own media personality extraordinaires, Jacaranda FM's very own afternoon drive time host. I think that's a mouthful. I got it all?
Pretty much. Oh, so I do the regional work zone, as we like to call it.
By the way, what type of witchcraft is that? Where half the country is listening to one side of Jacaranda, and so all of a sudden there's Jacaranda RM.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know the exact things behind it, but I know it was two separate licenses, and radio licenses in South Africa are like gold. You do not get rid of them. So when back in the day Jacaranda FM bought the license, they were like, what can we do with it? What's the possibility? And then that's why they decided to split it during the day so that they could give the regions some love, because when we have to hear about the traffic in Joburg, we're all sitting here in Mpumalanga with our 5 minutes of traffic going,
William Nicol.
Where's Snake Road? I don't know. So that's just how it works. I know it's a split, and that's about as far as I know. I leave that to the technical guys most of the time.
That's fine. Hopefully one day we're going to have somebody seated right there to unpack it for us. Because honestly, when I found out about these things, I think I was like 10 years old. And I was originally from Pretoria myself. Are you from the area, by the way?
No, I moved around a lot as a child. So my dad was in road construction. He would test all the materials.
Yeah.
So whenever it usually takes about 2 years to build a road. So every 2 years we would move. So I was born in Durban, but lived there for a grand total of 6 weeks. Wow. So I don't count it. Yeah. And then we lived in Pretoria for a while. Then Port Pietersburg, now Mokopane, and then Port Petersburg, Polokwane. And then we moved to Mozambique, but kept on moving back to Nelspruit. And that's why I love Nelspruit so much and why I call it home.
Okay. So I'm assuming you do have a government name, right? I know you love the country and all of that, but I'm told you are Sascha.
I am Sascha van Gelder, which is my, maiden name. But it's the name I started in radio with. Yeah. So then I have my other alias on Facebook and everything, Sascha van der Vestes, and that's my married name. Okay. But it allows me to kind of separate, have my personal social media and then my online persona, as we call it. Though I'm not very good with social media. I forget about it all the time.
No, that's fine. Well, the good news is you don't look like a Van der Vestes, so that's okay.
No, but even with the Van Gelder, the very big misconception is everyone will come and speak to me and then they automatically see my surname and start speaking Afrikaans. And I fully understand Afrikaans. Yeah. And I just don't speak it too much because I feel like I'm offending all Afrikaners when I speak Afrikaans. But then they'll start speaking and I'm like, okay, but I'm actually English. But we live in a multicultural society. My only regret is not learning Siswati properly.
Okay.
Because they started teaching, I think back in school, they started teaching us Northern Sotho. And then they would teach it to us for like a month. Yeah. And then the class just became a bit of a joke. And I was just like, I actually want to learn the language.
Yeah.
But,
I know exactly what you mean. So wait a minute. How did you sell that to your parents, that you are in English? And he is Afrikaner.
So I think it was probably more of a problem for his family than it was for mine. But so my family is multicultural to an extent. So my grandmother was British. Yeah. My grandfather was Afrikaans. On the other side, my dad's Australian, and his parents were Dutch. So at one point, my grandfather he offered to pay us 2 cents for every Afrikaans word that we spoke to him. That's how desperate he was to get us to try and speak Afrikaans to him. But we barely saw him. We saw him like once a year, so it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But I tell you, Afrikaans farm boys, as I like to call him, he's going to roll his eyes at me in a second. But they were brought up with good values on how to treat a woman and a lot of respect. Not all of them, but
Of course, this
mine
one
was.
is
Mine was. So,
I think you chose well.
yeah.
Well, I won't hold it against you for your Australian ancestry.
Australian there, yeah.
Like honest. I'm sorry about that. By the way.
Listen, like he moved when he was 11.
Okay.
So I think as much as he likes to pretend he's still Australian, he's now 60 something. The South Africanism has taken over more than the Australianism ever could.
So, Sascha, how do you do it all? Like, you, brand ambassador, mother, host, saint.
I don't know about that part. No, luckily I have a great support system around me, and I've been able to follow my dream of working in radio without having to move to Gauteng. Because that was the big thing. Everyone was like, oh, you want to be in radio? You have to move to Gauteng. That's where all the big radio stations are. And I mean, right when Empower FM opened, I was there for a little while, and then I fell pregnant with my son. And because my parents live here, whilst I was going and following my dreams and working night shifts and all hours of the morning, my family was here. My husband's always been such a great supporter of my career that they're always with me. So even like next week I have to go to Limpopo, and my family's here. You know, they offer to watch my kids. They offer to take my kids everywhere. And I think people don't realize how great it is to have family around you. It's always exciting to move to a big city in a big town, but having a support system of any kind, whether it's friends, family, is really important. And I'm lucky that I really just love what I do. So I think it's easy to, you know, drag myself out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning when I have to be somewhere with the breakfast show, because I just love it. I enjoy it. So.
What do you do with the breakfast show? I thought you were only in the afternoon, or did I miss something?
No, I am only in the afternoons, but like sometimes, like we've done a couple of things with Good Morning Angels. So for example, recently we gave Sijabulile School, which is out in Sterkspruit, we built them, I think it was almost 800,000 rands worth of new toilets. We got rid of their pit toilets and we did it. So then Martin will need to speak to people, or the team needs to speak to people, so they'll be like, Sascha, can you go out to the studio, be there, help everybody record, be where people need to be. And it's easy for me because I love Nelspruit, I love the community. So any opportunity that I have to go out and help, I'm there and I want to be there. It's not like, oh God, here we go again, I have to go and sit somewhere, I could be at home in bed. I love the community, and I always get so frustrated because people say, oh, there's nothing to do in Mbombela, there's nothing to do in Nelspruit. I'm like, no, there's plenty to do. You just need to find it.
Yeah.
And that's why I have my event plans that are every Wednesday, every Friday. I tell people, listen, this is what's happening. Go out, support local. Because the people are also very quick to complain when, for example, a big event happens one year, and then the next year it doesn't happen again. I'm like, but did you go to the first one? Did you support the first one? So yeah, I'm a big promoter of our area, and it helps that I lived in Limpopo for like 5 minutes back when I was young. So I can promote that as well. But Manani, my co-host, does a great job of promoting Limpopo.
Okay, can you do me a favor though?
Yes.
Okay. I'm all for you spreading the word to get people to move around and experience what they didn't know existed. But don't let everything out. Like there should be, something should be tourist free, you know what I mean?
Oh no, 100%.
Okay.
I do agree with that. But it's just because I say it's the locals that live here, and they're like, oh, it's so boring, nothing ever happens. And I'm like, but there's plenty of markets, there's a lot of events that you might actually love, but you see a poster for it and go, oh no, that's not my type of event. But you won't know unless you go and try.
Well, you're speaking to a particular idiot who's been around.
Yeah.
I remember when Opikopi was still at Mbombela. Right?
Yes, Mbombela,
yeah. When they didn't miss it because it coincided with my birthday. So had the pleasure of seeing Kugos Kombates perform live.
My biggest regret is I never went to Opikopi. I never went to Opikopi. It was just one of those things. All my friends were going, but when I matriculated, I went straight into studying radio broadcasting through Damlin at that stage.
Yeah.
And then I got communication sciences through UNISA.
Yeah.
So I started working immediately and earning my own money and stuff like that. So when all my friends were off out, I was like, oh, sorry, I don't have money to go this time.
Studies.
Yeah, and also I won't lie, when people did come back with the stories from Opikopi with the dust and not showering and just falling asleep on the floor, I was like, that's...
Opikopi is possibly the only place on earth where you see a chick wearing Wellingtons.
Oh, yes.
And she looks sexy.
100%. I wish I could have gone, and I wish they'd bring it back. I know there's other festivals now, and I think Misty Waters was just up in Secunda, which also looked amazing, but I was busy working, so I couldn't go, unfortunately. Okay. But I'm also, I'm desperately trying to get my kids into the festival vibe so we can all go together and have fun together, but they're just like, Mom, it's noisy, it's not my music, and I'm like, just sit down and enjoy it, man.
We need to start sharing calendars.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know about the one in Secunda, but it sounds like my type of vibe.
It was amazing. It really was. And they also do a great job, especially Misty Waters, and I think it's Splashy Fen as well. Yeah. They do such a good job of, they have the big names on in the evenings, but they have so many local artists that come and perform during the daytime when you can just sit on the grass and enjoy it without having to headbang and jump around.
Rumor has it you went to Paris.
I did go to Paris, yes.
How did that happen? Which competition was it? I'm so jealous, by the way.
People get very frustrated with me when I talk about this. So even before I got into radio, I've always been a serial competition enterer. So when I used to work with my office job, I would literally have the radio on in the background and then I would have two phones. So whenever there was a competition, I'd literally be on two phones calling to try and win. So I'd won 5,000 Rand from one radio station. From Jacaranda, I got a laptop that I won. And eventually, obviously, everything became more digital. It wasn't about calling anymore.
Yes.
And the Paris one in particular was a Coca-Cola competition. Yeah. You literally just had to send your till slip that you had bought some cool drink every single day. And luckily, we literally did we buy 2 liters of cool drink every single day. So every day, I just took a picture of the till slip. And then they called me and they were like, oh, by the way, you won a trip to Paris. And it was a dream come true. And it was amazing. Because especially it was the Paralympics. So I got to see so many sports that I never knew existed and see it in a completely different way. My only regret was that it was only for one person. So I would have loved to have gone with my husband and had someone to enjoy it with, because there was one other South African gentleman who also won the solo trip. And then everybody else was from South America. So they didn't speak English. They didn't understand us. So it was a bit strange. But I mean, we got to stay in a 5-star hotel. I got to go eat at the Eiffel Tower. So I can't complain too much. It really was an amazing trip. I did have a giggle the one day because obviously depending on where you come from, every single meal, we had breakfast at the hotel. They took us out to dinner pretty much every single night, or it was at the whatever sport we were watching. Yeah. And there was one day where they were like, no, it's a free day. I don't know why this hair, sorry. They were like, it's a free day. We'll give you a voucher for lunch that day. And I was like, okay, whatever. They gave us a voucher and they were like, okay, there's 85 euros on this voucher. I was like, that's 2,000 Rand. You think I'm going to go anywhere here and spend 2,000 Rand on some food? So I used that to go and get gifts for everybody that I could. We bought like a burger for €1 and the rest I was like just buying gifts for everybody.
But why would you eat 85 euros worth of food? How?
It's very expensive there. So it literally, if you go to a proper restaurant there, even a box of cigarettes over that side is like 20 euros. It is ridiculous for alcohol, for everything.
That's a good enough reason to quit.
Luckily I had quit. Because that 11-hour, I quit during COVID. But that 11-hour plane ride, even though, look, it was business class, and it was my first long-haul flight ever, and now I fear that I'm ruined, that I can never fly again, because my first experience was in business class. But yeah, I don't know how people who smoke and stuff survive long haul flights anymore, because I would have been like, I had a couple of friends that lived in Paris and one in Amsterdam that was like, can you bring us some cigarettes from South Africa? I was like, listen, I don't mess with customs. Okay, there's one thing I do not do. I'm not going to come into Paris with like 40 cartons of cigarettes. They're going to look at me very strange. I also went to Mauritius on a trip that I won. That one was frustrating because that one was from 1 day only.
Yeah.
I got an email, and you get emails all the time. And
yes, the newsletters.
So one was like, congratulations, we're going to make your day. And I thought, it's going to be a 10% discount or something. And I opened it, and it was like, you've won this trip to Mauritius for 2 people. I was like, okay, great, amazing. I found that out on the 20th of March, 2020. On the 28th of March, we went into lockdown. So it was like, okay, they were like, don't worry about it. You can still use the trip. So then in 2021, when everything was kind of chilling out and stuff, we booked it for December. We were like, it was end of 2020. We booked it for December. And also, 1 week before we were meant to go, they found that new variant.
Yeah.
And they only blocked out South Africa. I was like, so eventually we did get to go. We got to go in May, and it was it was the best trip. Free trips are the best trips. Absolutely. I won't lie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I've won 2 trips. The only thing I'm still waiting for is either the lotto or a car. The only things I haven't won big at. And we can only dream, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, you're on your way.
Well, my only advice for people in general, when they was like, Sascha, how do you win so many competitions, is I enter.
Yeah.
If you don't enter, you can't win. And there are so many little hidden competitions that you don't even know about, that also nobody else knows about.
Yes.
So if you enter, you never know what will happen.
So I guess it goes back to, you only win the races you participate in.
Exactly. I wish it was something more special than that, but it's not. It's just that I enter.
Okay. Firstly, Coca-Cola sucks.
Yeah.
For giving you only one ticket.
Only one ticket.
Only one ticket. Like, who does that? Who does that? And another thing, when it comes to that whole period during COVID, I think we're gonna laugh about that period. Maybe we're not there yet. Remember, you could not buy sweets at some point.
Yeah, no.
Like chips, like. You couldn't.
It was ridiculous. And literally my husband had started a new job 1 month before we went into lockdown. And so there was, and luckily I was still able to work, though my studio's in the mall, in Riverside Mall, and I was the only one. I literally had to climb through tape to get to my studio. And then they cut off half of the mall's electricity. So I was fine working, it was okay. And then the one day I had to go to the bathroom and there was no electricity. You had to use a torch to get to the bathroom. And the one day I came around the corner and there was a person there, and I got the fright of my life. So then I phoned my boss and was like, listen, can I please work from home from now on? And it was rough. It got to the point where we started selling stuff because my husband was getting tours, and the company was nice enough to match the tours, but it was still like only half your salary at the end of the day. So we had amazing landlords, and I think for a lot of people, COVID either made or broke your relationship. Yeah. It either brought you closer or it broke you apart.
Because suddenly you spent 9 hours.
You were spending a lot of time together, and never mind just the stress of everything that was going on in the world. But I was lucky, we grew closer together, and to the point that when we had to go back to work normally, I was like, I miss you. Can we go back home, please? But no, I wouldn't. I think especially Cyril, when Cyril came, said he was calling a family meeting the other night with this new Hunter virus. Yeah. I think everyone was very scared. For half a second, we all believed he's going to put us into lockdown again, but it's about impeachment or whatever. We'll wear the masks, but don't put us into lockdown. We all need to work and be social. South Africans cannot sit alone in areas. But your other plus side is I did quit smoking. Because we got to the point where it was like, okay, we've saved all the money that we can. Where can we save money? And it was like, well, the illegal cigarettes we buying. So I had to quit, and that's when I started crocheting, because I needed something to do with my hands. Because I was like, I can't smoke anymore, so we better start crocheting stuff.
Okay. Do you see yourself working anywhere else but at Jacaranda FM? Or is it Jacaranda for life for you?
Well, I mean, I think the big one for me, if someone called, I'm not going to lie, if someone called and said, hey, would there be a possibility?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I've always loved living in Mpumalanga, and I've always loved that I can follow it here. So when Empower opened up and they became the first commercial radio station in Mpumalanga, I was so excited. I was like, yes, I can work in radio and stay here. And then when Rise FM bought them over, and I got to work at Rise FM for a year and a half, which was also amazing. And they're also doing such a great job of promoting local. But there's just something about Jacaranda FM and the work that they do in communities and how they help. And my plan has always just been to get more promotion for Mpumalanga and Limpopo, because I feel like we are the forgotten provinces. People are like, oh yeah, those places
They
up
only
there
remember us around
with
Easter.
the mining and the farming and stuff. But there's so much more to us, and I just want to promote that and be like, hey, we're really cool people. Come visit, but also then go home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't move here.
No.
There's enough of us here.
Facts. The reason why you keep coming back to the Lowveld, it's in the water.
Yes.
Yeah? It's in the water. One of my lecturers told me that once you have a cup of water from Mpumalanga, as I don't know why you guys add the A, but that's another story.
Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm the same. When people go, Barney Simon, who I work with, he likes going Mpumalanga. I'm like, where's the A?
Where's the A?
It's Mpumalanga. It's also, some people randomly throw an extra M in Limpopo and they call it Limpompo. I'm like, where's the extra M coming from?
Like, seriously. So no, I'm happy somebody else picked it up, because when I pick it up, they're like, why are you so finicky? Like why?
No, it's because it's where we live.
It's where we
like
live.
people like, if you go Mzansi, it's not Mzansi, it's Mzansi.
You must, in the intonation down.
Mzansi.
What are you picking it up for? Anywho, so it's in the water. She says, Sanet Morman said that once you have a cup of water from the Lowveld, you'll always come back for more.
Yeah.
It might take you 5 months, 5 years, 50 years, but you're always gonna come back.
I know lots of people who have bought retirement homes here, especially Hazy View, Barberton side.
Yes.
People are always like, no, we'll just buy a home there and then we can just pop out to the Kruger whenever we want.
No, absolutely. I find it odd that a whole radio station is named after an invasive species of tree. Like, jacarandas are not South African.
I'm trying to figure out when they learned that. I think everyone's always known it, but it's only become recently. But when people think of Pretoria, they think of the beautiful jacaranda, the purple. So, I don't know. Especially ground fires low on Jacaranda FM. Dasha, Austin, it's your number one feel-good station. And it is that time of the week where we help you plan your weekend and tell you some exciting things that are happening in the province. But there is really only one exciting thing happening, and that is the Jack 40-year anniversary birthday tour. It is our feel-good tour, and I'm so glad the very first place they decided to stop was the Lowveld, and it's going to be amazing.
Okay, speaking of Jacaranda, how are the 40-year birthday celebrations going?
Oh, very, very well. I mean, I've been at Jacaranda now. I'm in my 11th year at Jacaranda FM. So I'm like, I've been there for a quarter of their life. I've been working at Jacaranda FM. And I think the biggest thing is this whole concept that we're giving back to everybody.
Yes.
We've gone, yes, it's our celebration, but we want to give back and make a difference in people's lives. So all the competitions, I'm giving away prizes. The Secret Sounds, 40,000 Rand instead of just 10. So I think that's a common thread between all of us that work at Jacaranda FM, is we just love giving back to our listeners and the people. It's like a family. The work that Good Morning Angels does for everybody, I actually myself, when I was working at Jacaranda FM, I asked them if they could help. They were busy building a burn unit at Rob Ferreira for children, because there's only one burn unit. I think that at the time there was no burn units in Mpumalanga for children. So you had to, if your child was burned, you had to go all the way to Joburg. And when your child's been burnt, it's seconds and the infection. So the reason why I wrote in was because my son burnt his feet when he was 2 years old. He got into a bath, turned on the tap, and it could have been so much worse. But luckily, he only burnt the top of his feet. But he had to spend 12 days in hospital. I had to be with him. But everything was sterile sheets and everything like that. And the one thing they asked for at Rob Ferreira was a specific bath, a stainless steel bath for the children to help them. And Good Morning Angels bought that bath, and it's still there, I think. And yeah, so that's a big one for me. Like I say, when Good Morning Angels calls me, I'm like, yes, I'm there. Let's go. Because the difference that they in particular have made, I mean, Jacaranda obviously has its impact, but Good Morning Angels, the work that they do across all communities is just amazing.
No, definitely. It actually lines up with everything that we do as well, on a very, very smaller scale, much smaller scale. But it's like that whole story with the starfish on the beach.
Yeah.
If you pick it up and you throw it back, you made a difference to that one starfish. So you can't say it's all in vain.
Oh yeah, no. I think even if you just help one person and that's just in your daily life as well. I do feel like it's a weird thing to me, and I talk about it often. I feel like whether it was COVID or what, people have become a lot more selfish.
Yes.
They really only think about themselves. We see it with everybody driving through red robots. People in student reses, that's a whole other conversation. But it's very, I know someone who has a neighbor who it's a residential area, and they started a steel factory in their front yard, and all they're doing all day is grinding. And it's just like, that's great, but what about everybody else? The kindness is kind of collapsing in the world at the moment. I think everybody's like, what about me? I need to make sure that I'm okay, which is great, but we can still make sure everybody else is okay as well. There has to be a compromise somewhere along the line. Because I see it on Nullspreiters all the time. It's like my favorite group, though. I don't get involved in conversations. But someone will complain, like a big one is when loud music is being played.
Yes.
But I'm like, but it's 9 o'clock, guys. You got to let people play the loud music. If they go past 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, then you complain. But everybody needs to be able to exist and enjoy what they enjoy together, unless it's crime. Don't enjoy crime. Do that by yourself.
When it comes to noise pollution and Nullspreiters, as a whole, Mbombelians as we call them, I always find it funny that I've never heard a single complaint around the Inibos time.
So there are complaints about Inibos, as somebody, because I'm involved with Inibos a lot, and there are always complaints. The big difference that so Inibos, the police are very, very strict with. So literally at 11:30, the police come into the bar with tasers. They don't tase anybody, but they make the noise because at 11:30, the music shuts down and everybody gets kicked out.
Yeah.
That is it. You have to leave. The license is there. Whereas a lot of places go until 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So I think that's the comparison that people like to draw. But when, for example, I think it's in June, the 12th of June, the Sunriders Sunriders rally is coming to town.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I live right off the R40, and listening to motorbikes race up and down, it gets a bit, you're like, guys, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, can we stop? But any boss, like Sunriders, books out the entire town, if not further. And weekend events that bring so much money to our community, in my opinion, nobody should be complaining about them. Like I say, if it's every single weekend, the house next door is making a lot of noise, granted, complain. But if your neighbors had one party in 5 years, please relax. It's not the end of the world.
I think in a situation like that person is just angry because they didn't
get invited, you see.
Sure. Sweetie, I know that you are the go-to girl in terms of what's hot and happening in Mpumalanga, Lowveld, Mbombela as well. Which events are you currently working on? So,
look, Inibos is coming up, which is my favorite event of the year, just because I get to go and meet people. My thing is I try to go to as many events as I can, but as being actively involved, I don't plan too many events just because I'm very scared. I have a very big fear of failure. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and then it's going to be a flop and then everyone's going to blame me. So I like to go and support. I have big plans, and especially around Christmas, there's one particular event that I would like to do. I'm not going to say it because someone's going to steal my idea. But there are events that I feel like can work in Nelspruit, and people should not be so scared to go out and support. Sure. There's obviously the other side of things where people just ask ridiculous entrance fees, and I'm like, guys, it's Nelspruit. It's not gonna happen. Because it's a weird thing. People in Nelspruit and Mbombela want to support, but they also weirdly don't want to spend their money. But events have to make money, otherwise there is no point in it.
Yes.
And when an event gets to the magnitude that an Ibos does and that Sunriders Valley does, and Mpumalanga show, I know like the Mbombela Farmers Market is doing, other than controversy aside that there was, I think, last year, they are doing amazing things and helping locals build their businesses. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't think people realize the knock-on effect that just buying one thing from one person can make for a whole entire group of people.
That is true.
But we just need to get out and do it. But my favorite also random thing that people in Mbombela do is they somehow all plan their stuff on the same weekend. Like there'll be all the big events on one weekend, and you're like, guys, I'm not going to drive here to Hazy View and then back. So sometimes I know payday is a big thing. Everyone tries to do it around payday, but we do need to try and have a community diary where we say, okay, guys, my big event that brings a lot of people is on this weekend.
Yes.
Try not to have another event because we end up splitting.
Yes.
Where we could all share in the glory of people in Nelspruit coming out and about, especially because winter is such a beautiful time for us.
Because we don't have winter.
We don't have winter. So it's when I've already seen all the homeless people. It's a weird thing in Nelspruit. All the Joburg homeless people come this side and stand at our robots this time of year because, sorry.
Wait a minute.
Have you never noticed that?
We have a homeless people exchange program.
Essentially, yes. There are specific people that you will not see. You will only see them in winter. They go to Joburg because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
But obviously sleeping on the street is really cold in Joburg. So then they come outside and they come this side.
That's a brilliant idea. Now I think about it.
Go where the sunshine is. And
amen to that.
See, Mpumalanga has many benefits for everybody.
Damn. Wow. Okay. Without letting the cat out of the bag about your possible Christmas event.
Yes.
What's in the pipeline for you and Jacaranda FM? What can we look forward to?
So we are, and I'm really happy because we've recently gone through a management shift at Jacaranda FM, and the new management is also on the same lines as I do, realizing that our provinces are not utilized, but I'm trying to think of the correct word, but showing everybody our provinces and showing love to the people that live in this area. That's why people who do listen will have noticed that I've had a big uptick in competitions and just general stuff because my new management is going, let's come here. So that's why the first stop on the Feel Good tour was Mbombela. We're going to Limpopo next week. Mm-hmm. And that's just the start. We have a whole year that we want to look at different events that we can get involved in and support different things in the regions. And so it's now my job just to find those things and go, hey, management, like let's get involved in these things.
No, and I think that's beautiful. I can't wait to see half of them because I think you've got an eye for cool shit.
Oh, thank you.
How do people get a hold of you in terms of bookings and stuff?
Oh, so I have my social media pages, Sascha van Gelder, and then my email address is there. It's a weird thing. People share your number freely now, and then I get a lot of strange people messaging me and stuff like that. So I've always now considered, I think maybe it's time for a business phone and a private phone. So my social media is Sascha van Gelder. I'm slowly growing my followers. I took a stage in my life when my son was born that I was like, okay, I want to see my son and not look at him through a lens the whole entire time. So I got into the habit of not having my phone in my hand.
Yes.
So now I'll go to entire events, have a good time, party, and then at the end I'm like, oh, I didn't take a single photo, not a single one, and I need to put it on my socials, and especially TikTok is massive at the moment. So yeah, I'm getting there. So if anybody wants to follow me, please feel free. It's Sascha van Gelder on everything. I think on TikTok it's Radio Sash.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm trying, and it's just, and that's where I share all the events and things that are going on. I try to steer clear from all the news stuff, because I do have my segment in the week where we concentrate on something big that's happening. Like last week, now I have to do a follow-up story, because last week, obviously, with Big Joe, they had the attempted assassination, and now last night, they successfully assassinated him. So now I have to do the follow-up story, but I prefer to concentrate on positive, happy things. And that's why when Jacaranda, when we changed our positioning to your number one feel-good station, I was like, hundreds, I can get behind that.
Yes.
Because there is so much negativity in the world at the moment.
We don't have to add.
We don't have to add to it. Obviously, when big things happen, we need to talk about them, especially in our provinces, because I think maybe that's why there's the corruption and all of that type of stuff, is because we all go, oh, I don't want to read the newspaper. But we need to put a spotlight on it when it needs to be done.
Yes.
But I would rather promote the good things about our province and let everybody else talk about the bad stuff.
Yeah, because there's enough people who do that anyway.
And they get paid to do that. I'd rather get paid to spread positivity and good stuff.
No, definitely. Now that's something we can get behind. Nice one. Sudi, do you think we left anything out? Anything that you'd like to shed a light on?
Not really. Just that I'm from here. I think there's a very big misconception that people will still ask, oh, you're visiting for the weekend. I'm like, no, I live here and have always lived here. Not always, but we moved here for the first time in 1993 and then moved around. But I went to Nelspruit Primary. I went to Lowveld High School. We're celebrating our 20-year reunion at the end of this. And I'm very grateful for that, because so we were known as Mandela's Matric. So I started grade 1 in 1994.
Okay.
So we all grew up together. I didn't know, I actually only learnt about the division and everything that was going on in the country when I was older, when we started learning about it in history. I was like, what? You know? Because I didn't have parents who were negative and all that type of stuff, we were just embraced everybody and loved everybody. So when I started learning about all this, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what is this? And the people that I went to school with, and so many of them I still talk today, I'm very, very grateful for that, for all of us being such good friends and growing up together. And I feel like it made me the person that I am today, and it was something that made me want to stay here and show people how great the people of Mpumalanga are. Yes, like you say, we all move away, but most of the people I know have since come back, or their families still live here and they've gone to Joe, because that's where the money is, right? Gauteng is where the big money is.
That's where the traffic is.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody comes back here for weekends, for that type of stuff. So that's pretty much it.
Guys, that was yet another exciting episode that we pulled together for you guys. Thank you, Miss Sascha, for joining us on the show today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Like honestly speaking, I think you're so warm, bubbly, inviting, and all that jazz. That's why he took you off the market. But another story altogether. Guys, don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Still your boy, Leo Gand. Out.